Picture this: green trees against a bright blue sky. When you take a photograph or footage of this scene, you want it to look the same on your computer as it does on your phone and as it does on your camera's LCD and even printed, right? But how does this happen? That's where color management comes in. Color management is one of photography and filmmaking's most important skills. It's also one of the most difficult skills to master. A good color management workflow includes knowing the various color gamuts and color spaces, the capacities of your hardware, and how to get the most out of it all. And there are likely to be a few surprises along the way as well. Hang on to the end of this video because I'm going to explain everything you need to know about setting up a proper color management workflow so you can use it to improve your shooting. Hi, I'm Jim Costa. I'm a full-time working photographer, video producer, video editor, and technology pro. I want to get going on the topic quickly, but do stick around till the end of this video because I'll tell you about some freebies and training courses I offer to improve your photography, video production, and filmmaking work, and to help grow your business through something known as earned media exposure, which is basically through free advertising. If you like what you see, smash that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video each and every Wednesday. Remember, I welcome your comments, questions, and more on all of my videos. Let me start by defining what color management is. Color management is a way of ensuring the consistent color of images or graphics across different media and devices, such as books, magazines, laptop computers, smartphones, TVs, and more. Ensuring color consistency and accuracy in these formats is hard because computer screens and glossy magazines get color through very different methods and technologies. So let's review a few of the basics. Color management helps translate images for devices that use different color models. A color model is a method of using three primary colors to produce a large range of other colors. That range is called a color space. There are two basic color models: additive and subtractive. The most common additive color model is RGB, or red, green, and blue. It is designed for devices and uses three colors of light to produce a range of colors. All the colors combined together make white. If you're into video production and filmmaking like me, you are very familiar with RGB colors. The most common subtractive color model is CMYK, or cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. It is used to create color in the printing process, which requires using ink or dye, and is subtractive because layers of ink cause an absence of the white color of the paper. The different models use either colored light or colored inks. RGB can produce more colors than CMYK. So, how does a designer create a graphic on a computer and make it look the same when it's printed? Through color management systems. In fact, the number of possible RGB color variants amount to a near limitless number, above that of a googolplex. For those who don't know, a googolplex is 10 times 10 to the 100 zeros, or 1 followed by a googol of zeros. So let's just say that is a lot of potential colors. While the average layman might not know this, it's well known to those who have made colors the focus of their careers, including graphic designers, photographers, videographers, filmmakers, and more. The camera is their tool and color management is their craft. So why is color management important? Because you want to make sure your colors are exactly as you want them to be. That sounds easy enough, right? Well, you might think so, but the answer is yes and no. While color management in itself is easy, there are plenty of opportunities to make small mistakes during your color management workflow if you're not careful. These small missteps often occur because people often forget that colors also have to stay consistent across each device in your photo or video editing workflow. Keeping them consistent will keep your clients happy and ensure the quality of your work. One caveat: the end goal with color management is to make sure that colors look the same or as similar as possible across all the devices in your color management workflow, as mentioned, as long as each device is capable of producing each specified color. Not all devices or mediums can produce all potential colors. Essentially, anyone who can benefit from predictable and consistent color out across multiple devices can benefit from color management. Let's have a look at some of the fundamentals of a good color management workflow. As mentioned, our goal with establishing a good color management workflow is to align the color characteristics for every device in our workflow. Some common examples of the devices we're talking about include digital cameras, monitors, and printers. Since not all devices speak the same color language, exact one-to-one color replication is not always possible. But establishing a good color management workflow reduces the margin of error and gives you more control over the way colors look in your final product. So how do we align colors? First, we must take a look at two different things. What colors are each of your devices capable of producing, otherwise known as your device's color gamut? And what will your project be used for? Will it be printed? Will it be posted to the web? Will it be on TV? What? After you have answered these questions, you will be able to select the correct color space to work in. So what is the color gamut? A color gamut is the range of colors a device is capable of producing. Devices can include digital cameras, printers, monitors, and even paper. As an example of the different types of color gamut offered by different devices, we can take a look at the difference in color gamut between a monitor and a printer. There are some colors that can be displayed on a bright, colorful monitor that just can't be replicated properly by a printer. To take things even further, there are differences in the color gamut for the same type of device. For example, there are colors that can be displayed on a professional monitor with a wide color gamut that cannot be replicated on, say, a laptop screen or a non-professional monitor. Color on monitors works much the same way, and the reason for this has to do with color space, which I'll discuss next. So, what is color space? Now that we understand what a color gamut is, let's get into color space and how it relates to color management. Color space is a specified range of displayable colors. Examples of different color spaces include sRGB, Adobe RGB, ProPhoto RGB, CMYK. Let's take a look at what makes each of these color spaces unique. We'll start with CMYK. This is a color space used by printers. This color space differs from the color spaces mentioned above because it is subtractive, which is used for mixing inks, dyes, and so forth, and involves taking color away from the mixture in order to create a different color. sRGB. The sRGB color space is a smaller range of displayable colors than Adobe RGB or ProPhoto RGB. Although it has a smaller range of displayable colors, it is considered the standard and is the color space used by browsers across the web for many monitors as well, and other types of displays including mobile phones and tablets. Next is Adobe RGB. The Adobe RGB color space is larger than the sRGB color space and includes more shades of green and red than sRGB, for example. Typically, Adobe RGB is only used for printing because using Adobe RGB over sRGB for printing allows you to take advantage of the larger range of greens, reds, and blues in your prints. Another color space is what's known as ProPhoto RGB. ProPhoto RGB is a standard that was developed by Kodak in an attempt to recreate the complete range of colors you would likely see in everyday life. It is the largest of the color spaces mentioned thus far. Another color space is CIE 1931. All of the color spaces mentioned above are generally mapped with the CIE 1931 chromacity diagram of colors, as a means used to map color spaces. This space is said to contain all the colors visible to the human eye. Selecting the color space to work in is the first step in developing a good color management workflow. Let's talk about color discrepancies associated with color space selection. Almost all of us would agree that the more color the better. Although this is the case most of the time, when talking about color management, choosing the correct color space is more important than choosing the largest colors space available. But why, do you ask? Take ProPhoto RGB for example. It covers the largest range of color space than many of the color spaces mentioned earlier. One of the issues with using ProPhoto RGB, however, is that some of the ProPhoto RGB colors are actually beyond what is capable of being produced by any monitor currently available. This in turn will mean that when you work in ProPhoto RGB, you will evidently be forced to shift out of it and convert the colors to a different color space so they can be displayed on a monitor or seen on TV or printed or whatever. More conversions will result in a higher chance of making a mistake somewhere along your color management workflow. So what should you do? To reduce your potential for error, it is always best to plan around your end result. If you are looking to post your work on the web, it's probably better to stick with sRGB throughout your color management workflow because it is the industry standard color space for web browsers and web content. If you're looking to print your work, start out using Adobe RGB if your monitor is able to view it. The reason for this is because most laser printers are capable of displaying the extra hues of green, indigo, and blue displayable by Adobe RGB, but not by sRGB. As long as you know your desired end result and work in the appropriate space from start to finish, you should have no problems with color inconsistency in your color management workflow. So how do you obtain color accuracy? Color accuracy will differ from device to device, and you can't control how someone else's device, whether a phone, tablet, or monitor, will display a color that you created. What you can do, however, is ensure that color is accurate on your end. The way to do that is through monitor calibration. So how do you calibrate your monitors for maximum accuracy? Regular monitor color calibration is an absolute must for good color management. Doing regular monitor color calibration will allow you to be sure that you're looking at the true colors of a particular file rather than the colors that have been adjusted because of your monitor settings. A non-calibrated monitor can lead to color inconsistencies when you output your work to a printer or even when you are viewing your work on another monitor. Our eyes naturally adjust to non-calibrated colors over time, and doing regular monitor color calibration can drastically improve your perception of the colors you see on your screen. Luckily for us, calibration is a pretty simple process. There are essentially two methods for conducting monitor color calibration: software calibration and hardware calibration. The simplest calibration method is with monitor calibration software. Hardware calibration is another method which uses a color calibration tool and allows you to make further customizations to the white point and the luminance. That, however, is beyond the scope of this video. Let's talk about monitor calibration and uniformity. Uniformity is the way colors are distributed on your monitor screen. Poor uniformity will result in colors and luminance, otherwise known as brightness, being unevenly represented on your screen. For example, brighter in the middle of the screen than it is around the edges. Monitor calibration has the added benefit of helping ensure that colors and luminance on your screen are distributed evenly across your screen so that colors are represented accurately. Let's talk a little about color profiles. As I mentioned earlier, not all devices speak the same color language, and there are slight variations in the way each device reads, interprets, and outputs colors. To ensure that colors are being read from each of the devices in your color management workflow accurately, color profiles can be used to better align color information. ICC, or International Color Consortium color profiles, are device-specific and describe the way a particular device represents color and translates it in a way that aligns with the other devices in your workflow. ICC profiles are available for specific makes and models of cameras, printers, monitors, and even paper. So how do you create the ideal environment for reviewing and editing your photos and videos? Although it may not seem like it, the environment that you review your work and edit your work in can also impact your color management workflow. The reason for this is because when elements in your environment are reflected off your screen, they affect the way you see colors. The key to creating the ideal viewing environment for editing your work and managing color is reducing the number of distractions around your monitor. Some common examples of distracting objects in your environment include ambient light, furniture, or brightly colored objects. Now, I'm not saying you need to go and black out your windows and get rid of all your furniture just to see colors correctly. Simply following the steps below can help create a viewing environment that will be sufficient enough to reduce most distractions. How do you reduce light being reflected off of your monitor screen? Sunlight streaming through a window or a nice bright lamp in the corner of your room may add a nice ambiance to your workspace, but it can also throw a wrench in your management workflow. So what's the solution to this? For the best color representation, make sure that no ambient light is being reflected directly off of your screen. Light reflecting off your screen will alter the way colors look, giving your eye an inaccurate representation of the colors you are looking at. A good solution for this is using a monitor hood, which is an easy and affordable way to combat reflections on your screen. How do you reduce bright colors being reflected off your monitor screen? Just as with ambient light, having brightly colored furniture, curtains, or even walls can wreak havoc on your color management workflow if they are reflecting back onto your screen. So the solution to this problem? When possible, try to eliminate bold, bright colors around your editing workspace and opt for neutral colors in your color management workspace instead. You want to take note of your viewing angle. So here, the problem is, depending upon the type of panel your monitor has, colors may shift when you change your viewing angle. It's always best to look at your screen front and center. However, this isn't always possible if you're reviewing your work on your monitor with other people and they're standing around you, or when you're reviewing on set or whatever. A very good solution to this problem is to use an IPS panel, such as the ones used by most professional people in the film and video industry because of their consistency across a larger range of viewing angles. In short, IPS monitors, or in-plane switching monitors, leverage liquid crystals aligned in parallel to produce rich colors. They allow you to see accurate colors from a wider angle, so you can be off to the side and still see a good image on the monitor, just like you would if you were sitting in front of the monitor. You want to make sure you remember to check your color. Now that you have a solid understanding of the fundamentals of good color management, it's time to check your colors. With the fundamentals outlined in this video, you will be able to set up a sound color management workflow and are now on your way to higher quality work. If you want to expand your knowledge on a related topic, be sure to check out the companion video I did on color space and color profiles. I'll link to that video in the description below so you can watch it after you're watching this video and you can learn even more. If this is making sense to you, but I've got it in the comments section below. My question of the day is, what are you doing to improve your color management workflow? Leave a comment below and let us know. If you found the information in this video useful, I'd like to hear about it from you. If you liked it and want to see more videos like this, then follow my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films. If you think what you saw was great, please do like it. If you have an opinion, feel free to comment below. If you know someone who could benefit from the information that I provided, please share the video. You can connect with me and my company, Jim Costa Films, on social media and online, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the web by searching for Jim Costa Films. In fact, I currently have over 4,500 videos on my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films, so feel free to check out many of my other videos for great tips and suggestions. Thank you for sticking around this long. I mentioned at the beginning about some freebies and training. As a professional video producer and photographer, I've created an absolutely free cheat sheet for you on all the best camera settings to shoot with your DSLR, mirrorless, or video camera that will show you the settings that will allow your photos, and particularly your videos, to shine and stand out from the competition. The link to get that cheat sheet is just below in the video description. Best of all, my cheat sheet specializes in shooting video with any type of camera. In it, you'll find all the info you need on important video techniques such as white balance, color temperature, frame rates, and more. Also created an editing training course for Adobe Premiere Pro. My Quick Start training is designed to get you up in editing video in under 2 hours and includes over 100 tips, tricks, and keyboard shortcuts for video editors that get you started in the program and makes your workflow go much faster. Now, I'm also affiliated with Christina Nicholson, a fellow media veteran like myself who helps businesses and entrepreneurs reach tons of their ideal customers or clients through the power of media without spending big bucks on advertising. I've worked with Christina and used her advice and training successfully myself, so I know from firsthand experience that it works great. The program Christina and I are now offering is called the Media Mentoring Program, and it will help you to take advantage of mainstream media so you can stand out from the competition, because that's not something everyone has access to. Best of all, unlike paid ads and sponsorships, you can gain lots of exposure and credibility to become the go-to brand everyone talks about and wants to do business with without spending a fortune on advertising, because the program is geared to get you free advertising. I'll link to those cheat sheets and training courses in the description below as well. There's videos on both courses that will give you an overview of how they can help you, as well as links to get more information. You can help to support my channel by purchasing my training courses, requesting my free downloads, or by hiring me to shoot and edit for you. Remember, I've also done other videos on filmmaking, video production, and photography, and others on color management as well, as I mentioned, and I'll link to those in the description below. Finally, if you follow me for a while now, you know that I have a private community of photographers, videographers, and filmmakers just like you on Facebook, where I share other pro tips and tricks. It's called Video Producers and Content Creators. I love new members who want to share their work, learn from others, and also help others based on their own talent, skills, and experiences. The group is private and only for people in the filmmaking, video production, and photography industries that I personally work in myself. It's not a public group like my business Facebook page that I talked about earlier. That's public and anyone can see that because I want them to find it so they can hire me to work for them. You'll find a link to that group in the description below as well, so feel free to join it where you can learn even more.